Welcome back to Silver Thread Sewing. I'm Diane. This is Friday Sews. So as always, thank you for stopping by my channel. If this is your first time or if you're returning, I really appreciate it. I want to, as always, begin by saying thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for starting the hashtag Friday Sews. It's allowed so many people all over the world to gather in this hashtag like a big umbrella, and it makes it easier to find people with sewing content, and it's just a really fun hashtag, and it's been really beneficial because it's helped a lot of us who have small early new sewing channels to actually have somewhere that people might find us and grow our channels a little bit, and just get to be friends with people from all over the place. So I've enjoyed that thoroughly. Now this week, it's a little better weather here. We're actually having a really sunny day today. We've got some wind, and it's not really warm. It might be in the 40s, but with the wind, it feels a little bit colder than that. But we have actually had some nice days this week, and that makes me want to start spring cleaning. But in order to spring clean, that means I can't be in my sewing room all the time. So I thought I might start by spring cleaning my sewing room. That's an idea. And I'm sure you know how I feel. I want my sewing room to be clean and ready. That way, if I have a few minutes here and there or some time at the end of the day, then I can come in and everything's where it needs to be and everything's clean, and I can come in and start sewing. But I really do need to start spring cleaning the house. I've been trying to declutter and not de-stash, but get rid of stuff that I've had forever. I've got clothes that I guarantee came over on the Mayflower. They are so old, and I still wear them. I guess I'm just not much of a style icon. I don't even really care what's in style, if it makes me feel good to wear it or if it's comfortable or whatever. But I am trying to get rid of some old stuff that's just tattered and that really doesn't look presentable. I usually wear that stuff at home when I'm not wearing my pajamas. Anyway, I had done a video at the first part of the week about my fabric quill of fate, and I showed the dress, and I'll try to pop a picture in. That was a very different style for me. Usually everything I make is loose and too big, really. But I don't like anything tight, especially through the shoulders, and I don't like things that cling to me. I don't like that. I don't like the look. I don't like the way it feels. But this dress was made from double brush poly, and it was a very different style than I normally would ever make. But because of the fabric wheel of fate started by Carol at Sew Carol, it's allowed me to, I forced myself to use a pattern that I've never used before and try new things and try different styles. And I thought when I started doing the fabric wheel of fate, I thought this is my chance to try different patterns. And these are fabrics that I didn't really know what I was going to do with them. I'm not crazy about polyester. I find polyester to be hot, especially, in summertime. A lot of people don't. I know Viv at Viv Mom Sews, she uses double brush poly all the time and loves it. But in the hotter months, I just don't find it comfortable. It's too hot. Now, I don't mind so much in the winter, but the thing about double brush poly, it tends to cling to your body, and I'm not wild about that. But this dress, the way that it was made, it's kind of like almost like a trapeze style. It's not, but it's close to that. It's very loose fitting, and then it cinches in at the waist, or at your smallest part, with a belt. And I really like that, and I really stepped out of my comfort zone to show my arms and to show something that's a little more form-fitting. But I got so many compliments and so many comments, and it was just really heartwarming and beautiful to see that, and I'm so grateful to all of you. You made an old lady feel very good, so thank you. Now, other than that dress that I made, I had this ready to wear, and I call it a jumper, pinafore maybe? I don't know what it's called other places, but it's just a sleeveless dress, and it's made from a knit, And I've had it for probably 20 years, but I have worn this thing to death. And I really wanted to try to duplicate this. So I had some of this houndstooth, red and white houndstooth fabric. And it reminded me of this. It's a smaller print, of course, and it's a little bit more of a slick knit than this one. This would be more, this one almost feels like a sweater knit. It's kind of thick and a little bit heavier. And this is what I came out with. Now, it was a very easy sew. My serger is still like making loose loops and drop stitching and just doing stuff that I don't understand, because I've tried everything the manual recommended and everything that you guys recommended. So I watched another video last night, and it suggested that the knife might need to be adjusted some. So I'm going to go through it one more time, change the needles and clean everything out again and try it, because I had to make this on my sewing machine. And I like the way it turned out. I did not put bust darts. I decided they didn't take up much area in this one, and I just decided I was going to forgo that. Although I had a viewer suggest using the Pattern Fitting with Confidence book by Nancy Zeman. She even told me the page number. I believe it's 25 and 26. So I had that book, and I have been reading about how to add the bust darts and how to move them and different things about that. That's a really good book. If you don't have it and can ever find it, I would definitely recommend it. It's Pattern Fitting with Confidence, and she uses the pivot and slide technique. Nancy Zeman was just, she was just so talented and such a kind person. I watched her for years on PBS, and then when finally I figured out this book, I had ordered it, and she was just amazing. And I have used that pivot and slide technique. Sometimes if I have a pattern that's too small, that's been cut out at too small a size, I'll use that and make the adjustments I need to make it fit me. And I've had fairly good success with it in the past. But anyway, back to the thing that I'm talking about. This is a thinner fabric than the black one. The armholes on both of them kind of droop a little bit. And on this one, the neckline, I think I must have stretched the neckline out a little bit. And I'm not sure, I did press it with steam, but it never did kind of lay as flat as I would have hoped. So I don't know if I can go in and maybe take a little bit of clear elastic, or I'm not sure how to fix it, but I'm sure there's a way to fix that. And I might have enough to cut a facing. I did an all-in-one facing. I just went around the edges of the neckline and the armholes, and I drafted an all-in-one facing for it. And this is the back. And I dropped the hanger. But I think it turned out pretty good. I've got pictures of how I would probably wear this. Now, I put on a long sleeve white t-shirt and show that underneath this jumper. This, like I said, is kind of thin, and you can kind of see my t-shirt, the bottom of my t-shirt through the jumper. But I really liked it with the red cardigan over it. And I also tried it on with just a red sweatshirt pulled over the top of it. So that could be a really casual look for a chilly day in spring. But anyway, I'm very happy with this. And other than the neckline, I think it turned out great. And I definitely would not mind trying to make it again. I did have a viewer ask me why I would want to make a jumper or a sleeveless dress, basically, instead of just making a skirt if I was going to wear something over the top of it. And I don't know about you, but the last few years, since I'm not as thin as I used to be, having a one layer look, you know, you wear maybe your slip or whatever your undergarments are, and if you have one continual piece, it seems like there's nothing bulging or hanging over. My fat rolls don't show. Why don't I just say it? My fat rolls show in certain things, and I don't like that. But in a one piece, it's like everything's smooth, and it seems to just look a little bit neater, even if I do wear something over the top of it. And with a skirt, you always kind of have to be adjusting it so it doesn't get twisted or turned, and with a jumper, you know, it stays in place better. Now, that's my opinion, only my opinion, and we all know what that's worth, because this is a channel about what not to do when you sew. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. So I am trying to get my nerve up. I have my red denim fabric out. It's just a cotton denim with no stretch. And I have Simplicity 9590. And I want to make the full length version, even if I wanted to roll them up at the hem. I don't always like the way crop stuff looks on me because I'm not that tall. But I love this. And I am terrified of trying to make these. But I'm just going to buck up and do it. So I will either have a win or a fail in a week or two to share with you. So I'm hoping it'll be a win. And the only other thing that I had mentioned before is this black fabric. It's, I guess, the animal print. So I really want to duplicate the dress in this animal print fabric. And I'm going to use Butterick 6449 as my base. And a viewer suggested that I just take this has like a waistband. You can see it good in this. And she said just to put that all together so it would be one piece. And then that's where that little detail in the front would go. So those two things is all I'm going to try to work on this week, the overalls and this dress. I did have a couple little baskets I wanted to show you. Callie and Lily, my daughter and granddaughter, had been out the other day and they found 2 strawberry baskets. So the first one is kind of wicker. It's kind of hard. Feels wicker. But it's got the green stem and it's red and white. And I just love it. And then the other one is a rope basket. And I just love both of them. And you won't be surprised. Isn't that cute? And the green handles. And it's just one of the rope baskets. And I just love it. They're so handy to just throw stuff in. I've got them both in my sewing room right now, but I'm going to have to take one upstairs so I can look at it up there. But everything comes down here that I love strawberry, and especially so I can show you guys. All right, I'm not going to keep you. I'm not going to take any more of your time. I appreciate, time is the most valuable thing that anybody has, and we don't know really how much of it we have. But for you to take time out of your week to stop and watch one of my videos and hear my little North Carolina twang, yeah, that means something. That means a lot to me that you would do that. It's made me feel very, very loved and very comforted. You know, my mom's been gone 3 years today, and I started this channel not long after she left me, and it's really brought me a lot of comfort and it gives me something to look forward to, and I've made so many friends. I'm starting to recognize the people in the comments. I've gotten to meet Andra from Andra Makes, Cynthia from Mountain Accent Sewing, of course, Carol from Sew Carol. I almost got to meet Trish from Pinky's Farm. And I'm going to one of these days. I love her, and Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. I've not had the opportunity yet to meet her, but I want to meet them so much. And Grace from So Lovely with Grace. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people that we watch that are in Florida. And so I'm going to have to make a trip south one of these days because I love those ladies. They are just awesome. And the ones that I have met, I felt starstruck. I really did. When I met them in person, I just felt kind of starstruck. And I felt so fortunate and so lucky to get to meet them. And I love you guys. I truly do. Those of you who have shared things with me, I'm praying for you and for your health concerns and your family. And always feel free to share that. Share whatever you want to. And just remember, don't ever give up on sewing. As long as you sew, you'll never have time or money to get into any trouble. Ask me how I know. See you soon.